what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder coverage here. So it's been a minute, but we're jumping in and we're taking a look at the Dutch here as we start a new series and all of their sub-factions. So today we're going to focus on the privateers, the Dutch privateers, roughly 1623 to 1697. So if you're trying to play like historically correct time periods, with your opponent, and you want to make sure that your forces would have been ones that they encountered, you have that as a time period there. Now, a lot of special rules and a lot of cool things going on with this list for the Dutch player. So all ships in this force gain the shallow draft ship trait. So just a fantastic ability there. And again, all ships. So, that you can take some of the ships that normally wouldn't obviously have that, and then figure out some neat tactics that go around that ability. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. It is also an aggressive one. You get +2 bonus to initiative when determining the attacker in a scenario. So not the strongest as far as some of the factions that do +3, but hey, any bonus versus someone who doesn't get a bonus is going to be pretty neat. You do have 2 variant options here, so you may choose one of the following. So if we go Zeelanders, when attacked by a unit that is 6 inches away or less, units in this force may re-roll a single failed fatigue test die resulting from the attack. So that's just kind of permanent as an ability. So in that case, you want to get pretty close and aggressive versus the enemy, just to get that when it makes sense, of course. You don't want to necessarily put yourself in a bad spots just to get a reroll. You could also go the West India Company route. So at the end of the turn, if this force has 1 or more strike points than it did at the end of the previous turn, remove a point of fatigue from all non-shaken units in this force. So that's also pretty dang potent if we want to go that route. So, as long as they're not shaken, potentially getting just to remove tons of fatigue from your force is huge. That's a lot of free actions, which, if everything kind of worked out during the course of a game, enough of those really would equal like a turn or more's worth of actions, I think. So depending on how many you get. So that's actually really potent. Core units here. So you have access to the Zeelieden. Great stuff there. Basically everything on the Dutch is essentially really good. Enter Plague, the Capers, and then European sailors as a unit unaligned. Again, all part of your core. So really lots of good choices there. And then as a support, you have the Militi and then the Jewish militia unaligned as well. And then as commander options, so any Dutch sea commander, Diego the Mulatto, Jan Erasmus Reining, David Nassi, Abraham Crinton, or Piet Hein, of course. So lots of good named commanders as well. Now, if we were playing the biggie games, the army skill, you could ally with English buccaneers or French buccaneers, whatever flavor of buccaneer you want, basically, but not Spanish. Dutch Navy, Dutch Caribbean militia, and Dutch North American militia, of course, makes sense to be able to ally with other Dutch. So we'll be back in just a second, guys. We'll take a look more at shallow draft and have some thoughts on that for you. Alrighty, guys, we're back, and we just want to show you here, so under the Bark, because that's a ship that has the shallow draft rule. So again, with this force, all your ships basically get shallow draft. So the rule's pretty neat, and obviously situational, because you might not necessarily be in a spot where you would run aground, but hey, it is cool that ships that normally wouldn't get this ability. So anyway, if the ship must test to run aground, or if a repair action is being made to free the ship from being run aground, roll 2 dice for the test and keep the result of your choice. So basically you're just doubling your chances to really get unstuck, which again, with some of these bigger ships, and obviously taking more real estate on the board, and having realistically then more chances to potentially run aground on something, is just a nice ability to have, certainly for some of the other and larger sizes that are out there. So it's just a neat ability, not necessarily game breaking, but definitely lets you have a better chance to get back into the action and unstuck with the various other ship sizes. So a neat little ability and just a nice blanket rule to have on top of all the other neat things that the Dutch force here lets you do. So let us know, guys, what your thoughts are on the Dutch forces here that we've looked at for this particular sub-faction for the Dutch, and how that's fared for you, and how you tend to compose your lists for that, whether you're on the ground or at sea for the force. Let us know, guys, and we'll have more for you as we start working our way through all the Dutch sub factions. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have more Blood and Plunder for you guys very soon.